Hello there. I am formerly known as Playmobill, and I've been editing maps for 15 years for this game. In this video, we will see how to export a Company of Hero vanilla map to edit it. Alright, what you need Company of Heroes, that was formerly known as New Steam version, but is now just named Company of Heroes in Steam. You also need to install, because Worldbuilder is fucked up in the Company of Heroes version, you need the Legacy Edition, which is a previous version before Sega bought the game back from Relic after their bankrupt. Okay, you need those to install, because we will need that one, the Legacy Edition, just for the sake of having a working Worldbuilder. Otherwise, you will not be able to edit the map. And then you need Corsix Mod Studio. How to get it? Corsix official website is still up, so you can download it from here. And if you happen to have missing file, you have here an address where the problem has been reported and answered, thanks to Tiger. Alright, some important folders location. Obviously the dots are replacing your actual documents location and your actual Steam location, but these folder will not change regarding which version you use, because you need those to edit. So the vanilla map location will be in the Company of Hero Relaunch, which is the Steam name of the new version. And they will be in Steam apps common Company of Hero Relaunch www archives. And then you're looking at this file. This is a file that contains all the legacy map, the vanilla maps. So when you play the game and play multiplayer map, these maps will all be there. For campaign map, it's different. It's another location, but campaign map require a significant amount of work to make them multiplayer. So this is not the topic of this video. Okay, once you have exported those files, because we will do that in Corsix, you will need to put them in a specific location for Worldbuilder to be able to edit them. So to edit those maps with Worldbuilder, you will need to place them here. Notice that we have Relaunch here because that's the new version, but here not. We're placing that in a folder that belongs to the old version, because that's the only way the old Worldbuilder can see it. Alright, once you have that folder open and ready, you can check the third folder that you will need, which is where to test your SGA compiled map. So a compiled map is named SGA, but a decompiled map, the format which a Worldbuilder can save and use them, is SGB. But when you have the SGB map file, you have also a couple of other files, namely the texture for the minimap, you have also the loading peak, and you have also the info file, which contain basic information for the game to display the name of the map, and also the date of the editing, which is how the game makes a difference between two versions of the same map. Well, the SGB file goes here, but the SGA file, if you want to test them on your own without exporting them to the workshop, you can place them here. Note that if you want to test those maps in multiplayer, you will have to tell your friends to place the maps here. The other alternative is to just export them in workshop, but I don't recommend you to do that until the map is tested and debugged. So, also note that unlike the workshop, if you place a map here, people will not be able to join the game until they have the map at the same location. Okay, this is what it looks like. So on the left, you have the location where the actual vanilla maps are located. You can find the file because it's one of the two big files here. Once you have opened it with Corsix Studio, you will need to drop it in the Worldbuilder working folder, which will be in Company of Hero, and that folder might not exist on your PC, so you might have to create the end of it. You need World War II folder, caps doesn't matter, then data, then scenario with a typo, and then MP folder. Everything you place here will be able to be open in a Worldbuilder, and you will be able to open it. As you can see, there is a couple here. What file do you need here? You don't need all the files that will be extracted. What file is mandatory? The SGB file. That's the actual map file. Then the ID scar file will be needed if you have some scripting in your mission. Like, for example, a bridge is indestructible. That's where you actually script it. The loading file is not needed for editing. And those are the minimap for the base and slots, which they are not needed for editing. And the MM file is the output minimap that the world builder can produce, but it needs some work to become an in-game minimap because right now it will be ugly. And the TML map is a sort of functional map that tells the game, okay, this is a building and this is a road. It's very ugly, but it's generated by the world builder and it can be used to produce a beautiful minimap, because it gives information that you can then select automatically. So what you really need is the SGB file and the ID file. The info file is produced as well from the world builder, so you don't need necessarily to import one because it will create one anyway. But if you have one, you'd rather use it. SGB and ID scar. That's the one you need. Okay, let's show how it works. First, you open Corsix Studio, and if you have the missing file, which I gave the link for, you should have something like this. What we want is actually load a single SGI archive. So let's do it. All right, we're in company of here Relaunch from the Steam folder, and we are in www2 and archive. Then we see www2 data.sga. That's what we need. We open that. Okay. It worked. On the top left, you can see the plus, and you can then see what's in that archive, and what we're interested in is scenario, especially multiplayer and classics. Yep, here we are. Okay, here are all the vanilla multiplayer maps. Let's say we want to practice on Lyon and change the amount of resource on, let's say, the fuel. Too much fuel. We can select Lyon, open it. Let's select the entire folder, and then we can click to export. Extract all file in this folder. The folder will be pointed out at the end of the process. Okay, we don't need to click advance. There is not much needed here. We can just click go. Despite what is written, it will only ask for the folder at the end. All right. And then we will point the new location, which will be, where did I put that? All right. I've put a Corsix folder here. My intention is to extract those files in a temporary location. Why do I need a temporary location? Well, there is a lot more file that I need to edit. But also, when I will be done editing, I will need to actually construct a structure of folder inside the archive to pack the SGA file properly. So to facilitate that process, I have a temporary folder for each of the map I tend to compile. So for example, you can see them here. And the folder structure is, let's say, open this one. I prepared that one for this purpose. We will have a scenario folder here with the typo, and an MP folder, and that's inside the MP folder that I will extract all the actual file that we see here. Okay, it's done. Let's check it out. Alright, this is what we see. So, as I said before, we don't need all those files to edit. But before I copy them to the editing location in Worldbuilder, I will probably rename them to not confuse them with other parts. So I will just add some prefix. So, tutorial. Be aware where you add that, because you will need to preserve the extension like map base, map slots. No. That XML file is not needed, but for the sake of the explanation, I will still rename it. Alright, I kept the end of the file's name, so we have all the special suffix here that are kept. Okay, now what to select to copy into the Worldbuilder editing folder? We need probably the info file, which we can have a look in a minute. Actually, why not now? This is a string I was talking about. This string has no meaning if you edit a map. It's only for vanilla map, because that's depending of the language, the map name will be this or that. So let's name it as it should be named. The number of player goes into parentheses at the end. When you see in the game, that's how it is. And then if you want to add something after that, let's say that. Okay, copy that to scenario. And in the description, that's what you see when you click info in the lobby. So all right, music, we don't need that. If you change the number of player, let's say you make a 6-player version of it, you have to change this too. Be aware that the date is important. If you save, Worldbuilder will do it for you, so you don't need to do it now. But that date is what the game used to make the difference between two versions of the same map. So if you copy paste the date from an older version, the game will not be able to tell which one apart. Let's save. Okay, we need that file. We don't need the option file. This file is useful for the weather, but not for editing. We can use the SGB and the ID scar. The rest will be generated anyway, so we don't need the rest of it. Okay, now let's open. Okay, this is the folder where we should have everything that we want to be able to open on the Worldbuilder. I copy those, and I can now open the Worldbuilder. Open. And I see it here. It takes a minute. And voila! You can now edit your map, which will be in the next video. See you.